Hey everyone, so it's that time of year. It's October 15th. We're just starting Q4. Everyone's kind of starting to think 2020 goal setting. They're doing their business planning. And so this release in Sisu, amongst other things, is very much centered on goals and your ability to set goals and your ability to adjust the seasonality of those goals. So if you'll notice right off the bat when you log in here, you're now seeing an extra bar here. And then some of you probably don't know, you can disable some of this to clear things up. I could see how my closed units compares to my actual production, and those little bars, those are my goals that I've set for the year. So these goals, this whole goal setup page is completely different than what it was prior. I'm going to access it by going to account and goals now. Just going to pull up a page that looks like this. As an agent, I can set my own goals, and as a group admin or as a full account admin, I can either set goals for my team and for groups inside of my team. So the way this works and the way that it worked prior was you would just set a monthly goal, and that would be your goal for the entire month. For every single month in the year. Obviously, that's not realistic in real estate. There's very much seasonality in almost every market that we're talking to. And so you're going to want to adjust that seasonality. And this goal setup is going to allow you to do that and have the reflection of that shown here on your snapshot page, in your dashboards. When you're looking at it, you'll actually have goals that are seasonal. So the way it'll work is, and many of you might not know this either, there is a goal calculator here. So as you're doing your business planning, you could actually just use this to set up your goals. And you could it will ask certain questions, and this will allow you to calculate your conversion ratios and set the right goals. So if I go in here and I say I'm calculating my own goals, I want to make $120,000 this year. My average transaction size is 275,000. My average commission percentage per transaction, this is going to be what I put in my pocket. So my split, let's say on average, I'm getting 2.8% per transaction. And I'm putting, my split is 50-50, so I'm going to put 1.4. That's how much I, as an agent, put in my pocket after each transaction. If I were to contact 100 leads, I think I would set, or I would go on, we're going to say 3 appointments. We'll say that I'm working 50-50 with buyers and listings, and so on. And I can really dig deep in this, or you can use some baselines that we've identified. So I'll just, for the sake of time, use this. And it's going to give me this report here, and I'll just set this up to email to myself so I can have a copy here. But I can take these goals and kind of use them as the baseline as I'm setting my full goals here. So I might go, okay, my goal based on this is I should be shooting for this number in volume. So I'll set that up here. Whoops, looks like I'm doing team. So I'm going to want to do my personal. We'll set this up as volume. My average price point is going to be $275. And my unit goal is going to be 31.17. Cool. And then I'm going to go in. Just want to hit save periodically as I'm working through this. But then I'm going to enter that first batch of goals here. So I'm going to go through and enter this for my monthly goals. And then I could just go ahead and say copy to all. So this will give me a baseline to say, here's what I should be doing every month. If every month were exactly the same, these are the numbers that I should be hitting. So I'll copy these over, put them in January, hit copy to all, then I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now I'm going to use this percentage adjuster to calculate my seasonality. So you're going to have to do some looking at your market, or maybe ask your team lead or whoever you're working with, or try and go out and get an estimate of what kind of seasonality you're looking at. But using that kind of seasonality, you'll be able to adjust your goals in this sheet. So everything will be the same, but I might say, okay, January, February, we'll say December, January, and February, I'm going to decrease production goals by 25%. And then to counteract that, or to balance that, I'm going to say in the hot months of, let's say, March, April, May, I'm going to add a 25% boost on those months. And that reflects, so it's going to even out. I'm going to take 25% off of these three, and then I'm going to add 25% in on the hot months. And that's just a very basic idea of how you might want to do this. But that will allow you to use this calculator, get exactly what those goals should be, punch them in here, and then at the beginning of each month, you might adjust. You might say, you know what, things are going differently than I expected, and you can kind of adjust on the fly. But this would be a great way to do your business planning, figure out what your goals should be, and then roll into 2020 with some really good goals set up. So that's how that works. You can always reach out to the team if you have questions. Another big thing to mention here is your activities now have goals. So previously, these activities didn't have goals tied to them. You can now go through and do that, and you can use this same percentage increase or decrease to adjust for seasonality for each of the months of the year. And you should also know when you come into your dashboards, you'll see now on each of those tiles, you'll have how much you're at, what you've done year to date, and this little bar right here will show you what that goal is and how well you're pacing towards that goal for whatever time period you've set up here. So really big updates as far as goal setting goes. Another thing to mention here, many of you haven't seen this yet, there is now an option to add in your appointment set as a circle here on the dashboard. So as you're adding in dates for appointment set, those will populate here on the set dashboard. You get your conversion ratio from conversations to set to met to signed, which is a very popular coaching technique. They'll just go in there, look, set, met, signed, and figure out what part of your business needs optimization. A couple other things here. Oh, and I guess I should mention that the way to set that up is if you go admin, team settings, and click preferences over here, there's all kinds of different preferences that you can adjust. This one shows up right here, show appointment set. I just go ahead and hit enable, and it's going to go ahead and create that for me, and then I'll be able to see that here on my dashboard. One last thing, just kind of an admin thing, is if you go into your agents here, so I go admin agents, I can now have an option to I'll have the option to send out a welcome email. So there will be an extra option here that will allow you to send or bulk send a welcome email to any new agent. If for whatever reason they didn't get that email, or you want to introduce this or release it to your whole team, or remind them maybe of their password if they've forgotten, very quick and easy way to do that as an admin. So lots of cool things in here. As always, reach out to the team with questions. Great time to be doing your business planning and talking goals with your agents, creating those goals, and then having them all reflected here on your snapshot page and on your personal dashboards.